Very, very happy about being able to win all 3 games this weekend. Doesn't happen much in this conference, and all 3 games were in the balance. Could have gone either way. 3-1, 4-3, 4-1. Anybody's ball game. They certainly had an opportunity today. They made a run at us and got some runners on at the end. But we continued to do a pretty good job on the mound and kept our team in position to win games. So can't say enough about what our pitching staff has done. Had some timely hits, pretty good defense too, but our pitching staff has been big for us.
What's it say about Forrest that he can spend 3 nights in the hospital, then come out and give you the kind of outing that he did today?
I was impressed with his outing. I know that he's young and anxious, and he was going to tell me that he could go. I didn't expect anything less, but I got a little bit more than I thought he could give. I mean, he was in the hospital for 3 days. He jumped out of there Thursday. I guess late morning on Thursday, came over, got a bullpen in. He was able to stay out there today for about 70, 75 pitches. And he probably felt like he should have stayed longer. I just felt that was, certainly based on what he'd done on the mound, he could have stayed longer. Yeah. But I just didn't think there could be a lot more in the tank. But it was a very impressive performance for me.
He was about as efficient as you could get. Take away the 3-hit batsman. We had a couple balls and get away from him, but
he's still learning. But he makes some pitches. His slider's good. His fastball gets up there a little bit, and he's starting to mix his change in pretty good. He can pitch in and out a little bit. But he's one of those guys that he understands Coach Myers is going to help him get better, and he's growing a lot. And already halfway point here, he's grown up a lot, and we're excited about where he is.
Y'all had talked about maybe him pitching important innings this year. Weren't sure whether it was bullpen or starter. Did you think that he could be this advanced at this point?
I just didn't think this is where we would be because of Neff and Webb and Westmoreland. I just didn't think he would be in a situation that he would get these opportunities. And of course, injuries and Adam not pitching really well right now. That he got some chances, and Colby as well yesterday. I mean, our rotation has been unsettled, to say the least, and we've had some guys that have done a good job for us, and we're hoping that we get everybody healthy and it gets even more competitive. But it's outstanding what Colby was able to do for us in the starting role, and certainly what Coombs was able to do today.
Coach, it looks like Mooney's starting to put it together both at the plate and in the field. Can you comment on that, about his growth?
I just, I said it yesterday. I just believe he's comfortable. He was comfortable in the fall. He was comfortable in the preseason, and then the season starts, and he was going to, do too much. I think he just took too much on himself and tried too hard and tried to be maybe somebody he wasn't. And now he's settled in. He's comfortable, and he's playing like he's capable. When you see Mooney start getting hits the other way, like a lead off the game today, hit a ball to left field, he's in pretty good shape when you see that offensively. And he's very steady on defense. He moves. We put a lot of time into moving our infielders around based on pitch selection and scouting reports, probably more than we should sometimes. Mooney's got a great feel for knowing what's going on out there. There's a lot of times that he's shading or moving, anticipating location or a particular pitch, and he's been really good for us. Certainly had a good day today.
Did you ever think you'd see Jackie Bradley under 300?
Well, no, I probably didn't, but he's human, and he's getting pitched like Mickey Mantle. They've been very, very careful with him. He's been hit a little bit, and they're fighting him inside and throwing some breaking stuff away. And he's had some tough at bats, but he'll be fine. He's a guy that'll take his walks and still make be very productive for us as a guy who can score runs and play defense if he's not getting an opportunity to hit.
You talked a lot about your pitching depth before the start of the year. Here you are on a weekend where you don't use, Webb, Neff, Westmoreland, and you still allow just 5 runs in 3 games. What's that tell you about your staff?
Well, that was what I told the players after the game today. I said, kudos to the pitching staff. Guys that haven't pitched, maybe weren't in the plans as much when the season started, were thrown into the fire. They responded. Our bullpen continues to be stellar for us. You can't say enough good things about what Coach Myers has done and our pitching staff. They keep it. you can only win if your pitchers allow you the opportunity. And you know, we had some timely hits, but we didn't score a whole lot of runs. And we still had opportunities to win because those guys have done a super job for us. It got a little hairy at the end today, but Harper was able to come back from a 3-0 count and get a guy out.
Halfway point, you're almost identically where you were last year. Do you even think about that?
I didn't know that. No, I don't know. I don't think about that. You know, it's a 10-week season in the SEC, and then you got your non-conference games thrown in there, and you gotta try to win enough. You just gotta, every game's important, and you gotta grind it out. And, you know, you gotta go get some games that get away from you and find a way to win. And you gotta be careful about letting games get away that you feel like you were in charge of. They all add up at the end of the year, and our guys have done a good job to this point. Certainly a long way to go. There'll be some difficult circumstances ahead, but in this league, being able to win the first 3 series is very important.
I guess halfway, is that a point where you sort of look at what's going on? Is that maybe the first milestone that you pay attention to as you progress in the season?
Well, Tuesday night will be the halfway point. Yeah, that's one of the areas you see where you are and try to evaluate things. But we're unsettled in a lot of ways. I mean, we're optimistic that we're going to get Neff back. He's showing some signs of improvement. We're not so optimistic about Webb. That's more concerning to me. But you know, you have to. Everybody has injuries. People, you know, you get hurt. You have players out. Matthews was out all weekend, and you know, you don't like situations like that. But you know, the message has to be sent that you got to find a way, and our guys were able to do that.
Ray, 3 conference series you just talked about. I mean, runs are at a premium. That's an understatement. Has that changed you as a coach? Are you looking for situations sooner in games? And not like you were taking innings off 3 years ago, waiting for a 3-run homer, but do you find that your situation is a little bit more hypersensitive?
Absolutely. I seems like I'm managing from pitch to pitch now, and you know, years ago I'd let it play out a little bit and see if we could get somebody up there for a 3-run homer possibly, or you know, not take the bat out of anybody's hands. But it's different now. It is really different. And you know, we talked about the bats. That's overdone. But the truth of the matter is, there's not a lot of runs being scored. You know, sometimes you look at some scores, but for the most part, if your pitchers are solid, runs are hard to come by unless you kick it around a lot. And you know, this weekend was typical. Their guys were pretty solid. Our guys were solid, and runs were hard to get.
Questions for Coach Tanner?